Hello.
How's it going, everybody? It's Erin.
And Nicole, this is Dude That's Fucked Up.
Podcast.
What a treat.
I mean, everybody knows it's a podcast, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know why I say that.
Your eyeliner looks so good.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
I haven't done a eyeliner situation in a long time. And I was like, should I try this? And because when you start doing liquid eyeliner, you you gotta go full on or you just don't. You just wash the whole thing off.
Yeah.
When you fuck up,
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And I didn't fuck it up too bad, so
great. Love it.
I kept
good.
it. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, love.
Thank you.
Oh my God. I feel like you're the very mod 1960s, 1970s San Fran, the very cool mod, and I'm the more
70s
not hippie, but I'm wearing a ring t-shirt and it says San Francisco on it, dude, and it's just oh.
We're gonna be talking about San Francisco, sort of later. So we're in that headspace.
The Bay Area.
The Bay Area, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it is specific to San Francisco, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have anything in our DTFU business corner this week?
The biz nasty. Yes, we should say that just to remind people, we are on a podcast network. It's called Whohaha. It is female driven, female and non-binary, and everyone that's not just a straight white male is welcome there. But it is very cool. It's a comedy network, and they have an app that you can download.
There's so much cool content on there. Our website, our podcast is on there.
Mm-hmm.
You can listen to this podcast through the Whohaha app.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, whatever, you're listening, you're a lot of people say, I was walking down the street today and I started cracking up and everybody was looking at me. Take that little bit of audio that made you crack up, because we don't know we don't know what tickles you.
Yeah.
We only put up what tickles us, during an episode. Well, everything. But we think we're very funny. But take that bit of audio. You can take it from the Whohaha app and put it into any, onto Instagram or
you can pull
Twitter.
Clips.
You can pull clips.
Fucking roll the clip, baby. Let's see it.
Roll it back. I want to know.
I want to know. What's so goddamn funny?
What's so goddamn funny? And then everybody will be like, oh, that is goddamn funny.
Yeah. Also, if you do that and you share it on your Instagram and Twitter and stuff, then your cool friends will be like, oh, what is this? And then you'll have friends you could talk to about it. And that's fun.
Yeah.
Tag us in it. We'll fucking reshare it.
Just tag us in it and we'll reshare it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
I think that's the only biz I got. Go to our website, dtfupodcast.com.
Mm-hmm.
Patreon.com /
all the
DTFU
huge
podcast.
biz.
Yeah,
the huge biz.
Sweet.
Oh, well, you have anything fucked up this week?
Well, I'm just, my nose keeps bleeding. It would be very concerning to me if I wasn't pregnant.
It is also dry though, I think, because my nose has been very kind of owie inside.
Yeah, I think we're not having the typical beach humidity.
Yeah.
I mean, we do, but we don't. We're also running our, air conditioning.
And I don't leave the house, yeah.
Yeah. So that could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those factors combined. But I have literally never had a nosebleed in my life. I've had, little teeny little ones when it's dry.
Yeah.
But this is
just when you're on those Coke benders and stuff, though.
Yeah, exactly. So I do that a lot. Yeah,
when she's pregnant, though.
Yeah, but only. Exactly.
So only twice now has it gotten really bad, but
but I didn't even. I just I feel like with Jack I had bleeding gums a lot.
Yeah,
and that was it. But this one is just a full dripping nosebleed, which I've never had in my life, is what I'm saying. So
oh no,
it's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't love that.
It's like, yeah, it's really gross. So that's my fucked up. I'm just like, ugh, I'm a bag of blood.
Ugh. It's reminding me, okay, we didn't talk about this, but it's one of my current favorite trends on TikTok. And it's not actually real, but people are sticking like whole cloves of garlic in their nose for 10 to 15 minutes. Have you seen this?
No.
Oh, so on TikTok, it's allegedly to clear your sinuses. So like people are sticking huge cloves of garlic in their nose, and then you wait 10 to 15 minutes, and when you pull it out, it like all your snot comes out. Like it is like it is so disgusting, but like very like satisfying, you know?
Yeah,
and so people are doing it, and it like it's real, but the reaction is not that it clears your sinuses. It like upsets your sinuses so much that all the mucus like goes to that area to like.
It's like there's
help.
an invader in here.
Yes,
We need to get this out. Yeah.
Yeah. But it reminds me of that. Because it's like all the stuff coming out, you know? It's like
I feel like that's what it is. I have my saline rinse though, and that's like it's very nice. It's very good. It like moisturizes in there. So
yes.
Highly recommend if anybody has nose issues. I don't know. Don't put garlic in there.
No, don't put garlic in there. Also, it's not a good smell. And
also that
raw garlic. Oh my
raw
God.
garlic. I can't touch garlic without my hands smelling like it for like 4 days.
I know.
Like I can't even touch it.
I touched a raw onion earlier twice. I ate raw onion twice today, and I thought of you both times because you hate it.
I hate it. No, it's raw garlic that does it. Onion doesn't stay on my hands the way garlic does.
No, but you don't like when people eat raw onion.
I don't like. Yes, no, I don't let. It's like fucked up. I don't let DJ eat it anymore.
And I was eating it, and I was like, "Oh, poor DJ." Sometimes it's just so good.
You probably don't leach it out of your pores and smell like it for 2 days. Like, sorry,
I don't
DJ,
know.
but
tomorrow in the shower, I think I'll smell it. Like it takes like 24 hours, but like I'll be in the shower and I get all hot, and then I'm like,
it's the aromatherapy.
Like onions in here. Yeah.
Oh,
I know. I think it's funny.
That's gross, man. I can't do it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What about you? Anything fucked up for you this week?
Remember my sleep apnea like belt, and it has a pool noodle in it, like a little like a slice of a pool noodle.
Yep.
Well, that stopped working. I've been waking up. Pete, the other morning, like I was like, oh my God, I'm like, my back is so fucked up. I've been sleeping on my pool noodle, my like belt, and it's hard to say pool noodle for me.
Pool noodle. It is kind of
noodle. Yeah. But I was like, oh, I like keep waking up and I'm on my back and I'm like, oh, why? Whoa.
Oh, and it's like getting underneath you.
Yeah, like my back's all like arched, all fucked up, and I'm like, why am I sleeping like this? And so he's like, oh yeah, you were snoring last night and you were on your back. I'm like, why didn't you like wake me up and like tell me to go on my side? You know, I have to like train myself. And so he's like, okay, I will. I didn't know if you wanted me to. I'm like, I mean, that's better than, you know, stopping breathing or whatever. But then another thing that you could do is get a maternity pillow, like a big maternity pillow. So I got one and it came today and I laid into it. I'm like so excited to sleep tonight with my big ass pillow. I can't even tell you, because I've been sleeping like so weird, like just trying to sleep kind of on my stomach, which I haven't done since I like grew boobs, but I used to be a stomach sleeper, but it's hard, you know? And then your face, it's like, it's all smushed and stuff. So this pillow is so nice because I can like kind of like roll onto it, and then I can be like in a kind of a facing down, like kind of a stomach position, but kind of a side position. Yeah. And I'm just like very excited. And Pete's already like, maybe I should order one too. And we're just going to be like two little bitties in our.
Dude, I sleep with a maternity pillow every night. Yeah. Obviously, because, you know, but I've had one since like before I even needed one. Yeah. You know, because I'm like, nice. Oh, I better get one.
Oh my God. But it is very big. Like it takes up a lot of room.
Yeah. It's fine. It is a lot. Yeah. but totally worth it.
Whatever. I'll just have to like, I'm very weird about my pillows too. I'm just going to have to remember to like throw it on the floor if we have sexy times or something. So like there's no butts where my face goes or anything.
Well, and a cool thing about it is you could like fold it up and like you can have it like prop you up in bed.
Oh yeah, like yeah, you
like
could
for
use
like
it for
reading
a lot of,
or whatever.
Yeah, you could like you can make a little nest out of it. I've seen, or you could like circle it around so that it's like a big seat. Yeah, so many. Oh my gosh, so many uses,
options.
so many options, so many activities.
I'm very excited for your new sleep journey.
Me too. It's just constantly a journey, and I'm learning so much.
Amazing.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for me this week.
It's not fucked up. That shit's great. I'm excited for you, but it is fucked up that your pool noodle anti snore.
Yeah, it stopped working.
Yeah,
it's just been hurting my back.
Well, welcome to the exciting world of maternity pillow sleeping.
Yeah.
It's very exciting stuff, guys.
I feel like it's not even that I've reached a life stage, it's that I've reached that age.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I've aged into
I think everybody should have. Yeah, everybody should have a big body pillow like this. It rules.
And truly, like, it sucks so bad because you learn as you get older that it's harder to sleep. Like, you know, old people are just like up in the middle of the night and like can't sleep, and then, or they'll sleep like in little spurts throughout the day and then like kind of at night. Like, people have a hard time sleeping as you get older. And it fucking sucks. Like, what? I want to sleep good when I'm older and I'm like not stressed or anything, you know?
I think, yeah, it's just like we live in a culture of like not being good sleepers. Like,
yeah,
we've had conversations about sleep hygiene a million times.
Yeah,
and
I used to be so good at it.
Yeah, I'm still good at it. I've been sleeping great, even though I'm pregnant and uncomfortable. So, like, I don't count like the 4 to 7 times I wake up to pee. Like, that doesn't count.
That counts.
I fall asleep immediately.
Oh. Yeah, but you still have to get up. Sometimes, I mean, everyone does this, but it's like sometimes I'm just laying there like, do I have to pee that bad?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Usually in the early morning hours when it's like I could get up, I guess, but then it's like too late to go back to sleep. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anywho, oh my gosh. Well, I don't, yeah, I think that's good enough for our fucked ups of the week. That's all I have, really.
Same. Let's get into this topic here that we're talking about today.
Let's get into this because we have been pre-planning a lot of our episodes so that because we're recording them ahead of time, and this is very fun because we're able to kind of like map out things that feel different week to week.
Yeah.
And so this week we're doing like an historical place, and also kind of maybe a haunted place, you know, undetermined. But yeah, who's to say? But you said we should talk about Alcatraz. And since you brought this up, I've kind of been thinking about it, just like what I knew about it, you know, already.
Yeah,
It's prison, it's an island, it's in the Bay Area, blah, blah. And then I started remembering, like, people go there on their vacations.
It's so weird.
Why? Yeah. Why? It's not even like the Alamo or something where, like, maybe, like, a military thing took place and, like, you know, that has its own like bigger story to it, I guess. Like, this is just like a fucking straight ass prison.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a very interesting history, but like
that's not why people go there.
That's not why people go there. Like, when you think about Alcatraz, you associate it in your mind with prison.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck are people doing? Why do they want to go visit a old prison?
It's
like,
so weird.
I understand it's like probably one of the more unique places, I guess, in America you know, that is associated with the prison industrial complex, but but why do people want to go see? I totally am on the same page with that.
Okay, good, because I was like this is weird, right? Because like also it's just like I couldn't, because also like people do school trips there and stuff, which it's like, again, why? Because it's like, just go to your local prison and talk about like how fucked up this shit is. Like you're saying, like prison industrial complex, like you can like look how humans are treated when
I think
we do this to people.
Yeah, I think it's because of like the the history behind it.
Yeah.
Of having like very famous, infamous, I should say, inmates who were there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we'll talk about some of those.
that's the appeal of it, and that's what
Okay.
people associate in their mind, and that's why they want to go there. But
And I guess a lot of escapes. There's escape attempts, we should say.
Escape attempts, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then also, did I make this up in my mind, or did the Patty Hearst guy, was he at Alcatraz?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No,
I think when we talked about it
was closed by the time all that shit went down.
Oh, okay.
They all went to San Quentin.
He must have went to San Quentin. Yeah. Okay. Which is.
But the main guy committed suicide in the raid that they did on the house that killed all the people that were in the Symbionese Liberation Army.
Yeah, he had been there though, I think before, and like met some weird people. Right?
Yeah, I don't think so, because this place closed.
Oh my God. What am I thinking
before.
Of? Okay.
San Quentin, probably.
Yeah, San Quentin, but I don't know what story I'm thinking of. Anyway, yeah, it's just fucking weird. And I feel like people who take their families there and like their kids there on like vacation, like summer vacation or spring break vacation or whatever, are like maybe trying to do some scared straight thing to their children. And like they're, it's like their troublemaker children, like talk back or whatever. Like,
we're going to leave you on Alcatraz.
Yeah. They're like, if you fuck up, it's kind of like what we talked about with heaven and hell. It's like, you got to show them what hell is. Like, you got to show them, if you don't behave yourself and eat your vegetables, you're gonna have to come here. This is a prison, and they'll put you here. And then oh my God,
look how creepy and terrible it is.
Yeah.
So, who's to say? I don't know. Never have been to Alcatraz, even though I've been to San Francisco a million times.
Yeah.
Never crossed my mind to visit Alcatraz.
No thanks.
But now I don't know.
I'd rather just like get nice coffees and walk around the city. I don't need to take a boat over to a prison. I don't know.
No, it's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I learned about it today. That was enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about the background and history of Alcatraz itself, because it is very interesting. After researching it, I actually might want to go next time I'm in San Francisco.
Oh my goodness.
Just to see it.
Just for the t-shirt.
Yeah. So if any place though in the United States is more cursed, I'd like to know about it, because my God, the fuckery that has occurred on Alcatraz Island, going all the way back to when it was, we know it as we know it as it's famous for being a quote inescapable federal prison.
It's a fortress.
It's a fortress. It's on an island. It's surrounded by waters that are very cold, have very intense currents. There's sharks in the water of the San Francisco Bay where it's located. So it's we know it as this like kind of very fortified, creepy place where a prison was. It operated as a federal prison from August 11th, 1934 until March 21st, 1963. And it's a 22-acre island, a mile, almost like a mile and a half off the coast of San Francisco. And which I thought it was further, but a mile and a half, or a mile and a quarter, I should say.
Yeah, that's not that far as
not that far.
The crow flies, but
yeah.
If you're swimming it.
Yeah.
It's far.
It's far. And with all the crazy currents and stuff, it's gnarly. And since it became defunct as a prison in the 60s, it's become a very popular tourist attraction. And like I said, I think it never occurred to me to like ever want to go there because it's a tourist attraction now. But now that I've like learned a little bit more about it, I don't know, kind of want to see it. I don't know.
I mean, it's still probably a very, it's just like kind of morbid in a sense or something. There's just like a weird thing about going to see a prison. I don't know. It's like a weird, it doesn't mean it's not interesting. I'm sure it's interesting, and like there's probably, they do the tour and they tell you all about it and stuff, but it's just like not at the top of my list.
Well, I think I'm more interested in it now, knowing more of the history of it, because it was only a prison. Well, it was a prison for a long time, but
Yeah.
Not a federal prison. It was multi-purposeful place for a while. So
like a strip mall.
Well, it was military oriented. So
like a military strip mall. Like those malls they have on military bases where you can buy brand name stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, so the island was quote unquote discovered by Spanish colonizers during the Portola expedition, and it was charted by the Spanish explorer Juan Manuel de Ayala in 1775. Then in 1850, President Millard Fillmore ordered that Alcatraz Island be set aside specifically as a United States military like reservation installation kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just use it for military purposes based upon the acquisition of California from Mexico following the Mexican-American War. Not the Spanish-American War, that was later. The Mexican-American War. So yeah, of course, U.S. government got right to work once they got this little island, got California and the little island that came with it. They got to work making it a military installation immediately upon receipt. And Fort Alcatraz was completed on the island in 1858. So got it all set up, got it fortified, got, weapons and artillery and armaments, all that shit ready to go. It was at one point in time like so heavily armed. It was what the fuck are we gonna do with all these guns? I don't know. But yeah, so when the Civil War hit, though, we used that island to imprison Confederate sympathizers. Great. They're not going anywhere. And then after the Civil War, it was converted to just a regular old military prison, not base, prison.
Yeah.
Where they also, in addition to still imprisoning Confederate sympathizers, they also would imprison Hopi Native American men in the 1870s who refused orders to send their children away from their families to Indian boarding schools. Don't forget about this shit happening in the United States not that long ago.
Yeah, it's not just Canada. Also, that sort of thing didn't age well.
No. It was during the Trail of Tears, basically, is like these men were, like Native American men were sent there to just rot in prison for refusing to go along with the government mandated.
To turn their children over to the government. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh my God.
So fuck that. Let's put a pin in that, though. I'm going to come back to that, that topic a little bit later. But we're gonna keep rolling through here. About the history of Alcatraz. During World War I, it was used to imprison conscientious objectors to the war.
Oh my God.
Just in case you thought that, hippies were only in the 60s, they were all the time.
Yeah, there's always been people who don't like war.
Yeah. Like World War I especially, that was kind of a gnarly thing where we were like, what? Why?
I don't know what the difference is here, between... how come, or maybe this is not something we will answer, but this is just a question I'm having right now. But it's how come the First Amendment doesn't protect you as a conscientious objector? Why would you go to
Well, I think
prison?
This was when the draft was happening. So
draft dodger type thing. Okay. People
sure.
who were called and refused.
Right, yeah. And they were like,
that.
Yeah. And then the island was designated as a full-on federal prison in August of 1934. So just pretty much always a prison. The nature of the prison changed over time, though, obviously.
Yeah. But once a prison, always a prison, you know what I mean?
I mean, it makes sense. I always think in my mind of Trash Island and throwing all the men there, like I've said a million times before, but this was literally it. This is where
we already have Alcatraz. We don't even doesn't even need to go all the way to Trash Island.
No.
Which doesn't have an address. But this does.
Yeah.
So we could use it. And it already has rooms.
Yeah.
And toilets.
So the DOJ in 1934 was like, wow, we really have a lot of assholes that keep trying to escape our regular prisons. We need a better solution. Alcatraz.
Prison Island.
Alcatraz.
Yeah. Hot Prison Island. Hi, Islanders.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. That's
another live island.
Theme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they took all the
my God.
extra wild prisoners and threw them in Alcatraz.
Yeah, it is Love Island, baby.
Just so extra. Like imagine all the Hannibal Lecters in the US getting carted over to this island, basically. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
They're like, you're the worst, you're going here.
Yeah, they're like, what kind of like gross, weird stuff have you done? We have the place for you.
It's got your name on it.
Oh, you eat people?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, we've arrested you now and we can't send you to regular prison because you'll eat your roommate. So we're going to send you to Alcatraz.
Alcatraz. Oh my God. Yeah,
This
pretty
prison
much.
has everything.
This prison has everything we want, nothing you want.
Yeah. Oh God.
You won't be able to escape. Sorry. I know you've done it like 3 times from your old prison in Georgia, but that's not happening here. Your ass is going to just get eaten by sharks or you're going to drown and die of hypothermia. We don't know.
Has David Blaine done anything on Alcatraz? Or like any of the magicians? I should have looked that up. I'm just thinking of it now. But maybe that's a follow-up because we don't have that information with us in the moment. Yeah.
Yeah.
It happens.
It happened. Yeah. It's a creepy ass like situation. Being not that far off the coast, but far enough to be very dangerous to escape it. And I would say, like I said at the top, the federal prison years are the most well known because of all the gnarly inmates it housed, the infamous ones.
And it's just busy. Like, I mean, like in terms of it, when it was a federal prison, there's a lot going on, you know? Yeah. And
just remember, these guys are the worst of the worst, and they were always trying to escape their old prisons.
Which is why they were here.
Yeah, and they were like, thought that they could, they're like, put us in any prison, we'll escape it.
Yeah.
They thought there was a lot of people who were in this prison who really thought they could do it. So yeah, let's talk about some of those guys who tried to foolishly escape over the years.
Well, over the 29 years that the federal prison operated on Alcatraz, 36 men, including 2 who tried to escape twice, so they were repeat offenders.
Yeah.
Were involved in 14 separate escape attempts. 23 men were caught, 6 were shot and killed during their escape, 2 drowned. Also, 2 of the 23 men who were caught were later executed at San Quentin for their role in the death of a correctional officer during what was called the Battle of Alcatraz. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then 5 prisoners, and this is in quotes, successfully escaped in that they are still at large. However, they are presumed dead.
Yeah.
Because no bodies were ever found. And like, on the one hand, it's like, yeah, they're probably dead. And on the other, I guess they could have escaped. No body was ever found. But, I mean, things would have to go really right for them.
Yeah, it's
to get away.
It's very I think this is the thing about these, like the mindset of like these prisoners who thought they could escape.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that crazy to do. Just looking at how far you're not that far off the shore, off the mainland. But
most people aren't swimming a mile. Like a mile doesn't sound that far because you could walk it in like under 15 minutes. You could run it faster. And a mile, I don't know. It just doesn't sound like a lot. But I think swimming,
even just like looking at it, just looking at how
just looking at it.
I think just eyeballing it, and these guys just like, you know, they're criminals. They're like not.
Well, what's the alternative? Just sit in your cell all the day, you know? Like a lot of the people at Alcatraz had been moved there because they were like too much for their little local prison to handle. And it's like, okay, this guy is farting in the soup. He's like, he's stealing people's soaps and he's carving them into dicks. We got to get rid of this guy. Like, where are we going to put him? He is a disruptor. And then it's like, send him to Alcatraz. And
like that all sounds like stuff that a 5th grader would do, not a I think it's more like they were killing their like other inmates and
okay, probably, yeah,
maiming prison guards and constantly trying to escape, stuff like that.
Yeah, but you'd get pissed if someone farted in your soup.
Yeah, who wouldn't? I mean,
I'd send them away. Okay, so the Battle of Alcatraz. So this is also known as the Alcatraz Blast Out, which sounds like
something terrible. My God.
Like it sounds like something that happens to you if you drink the water there.
It sounds like the laser tag arcade that they have on the island now. That it's like a huge tourist attraction, right? Or
it sounds like the water slide that you can go on now that it's a tourist attraction.
Yeah.
Have you tried the Alcatraz Blast Out?
It's the nickname of the nachos you can get at the Alcatraz Cantina that they have there. Like it's like Disneyland now. It's not like Disneyland. I'm just joshing, but you know.
The Alcatraz Cantina.
Okay, maybe
that's
it's
what
not.
I was thinking because but it sounds like a frozen drink to me. It sounds like
that's what I was gonna say. Maybe not nachos, but maybe a cocktail. It's
Tuesdays are 2 for 1 Alcatraz Blast Outs. Yeah. Must be 21 and over.
It's a riot of flavor in your mouth. Okay.
You want to get this deal on lockdown. Oh my God. Okay, well, yeah, Alcatraz Blast Out.
Why did they name it that? Why?
I don't know because I'm trying to think of what happened cuz when I was putting these notes in here, it made me think, they must have like used TNT to like blast out of there. I don't think they did at all.
Well, what happened though?
Okay, this is what happened. So this is in May of 1946. It was over the course of 3 days, May 2nd through the 4th. 6 prisoners overpowered cell house officers and gained access to weapons and cell house keys.
Shit.
So they all joined together, these 6 people, and fucking bitch, they took control. They were like, and there's like so many guards and stuff, but I think just like how they did it was, it just overpowered who was on duty at the time. You know, It's like middle management was on duty. The boss wasn't there. So
this is where Elvis got inspiration for Jailhouse Rock.
Oh, it is?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
It could be.
That's fun.
Because this was like a crazy thing that happened.
Oh my gosh. So, okay, so they got all the keys, but there was one key that they really needed that like wasn't in the key cupboard that they got all these keys from. And that was the one to unlock the recreation yard door, like to actually like get out of the yard. Yeah. And so, okay, the Alcatraz history website, which I read a lot of information on there for today's episode. It says that instead of giving up, Bernard Coy, Joe Kretzer, Marvin Hubbard, Sam Shockley, Mirren Thompson, and Clarence Kames decided to fight it out. However, Shockley, Thompson, and Kames returned to their cells. And I'm like, how is that not giving up?
There's a little discrepancy there in the...
They're like, this is a lot. We're going to go back.
That's you guys like let us
giving up.
Let us know if you find that key, but we're just like going to go take a quick nap in our cell. Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, it's peanut butter and jelly day, so yeah, we're just going to head back. Do you mind if I eat your banana? Oh, you're busy. Cool.
Oh.
You're busy trying to escape. Cool. Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
So Coy, Hubbard, and Kretzer, on the other hand, they went all in, fucking guns blazing, because they had overpowered some of the guards. They like took their guns out and they said out loud, "You're not gonna take us alive." And then they fucking Thelma and Louised it.
Yeah.
I mean, this happens in so many movies, but it made me think of that specifically. They took some hostages. They took 2 prison guards, and they ended up shooting them point blank. Like, I don't one of them killing one of them, and like seriously injuring the other. And I don't know why they did that. I don't know. I guess just like they're criminals and they're already in some deep shit, and
What else do they have to lose?
Yeah, truly nothing to lose. And yeah, one of the officers, William Miller, died from his injuries, and then a second officer, Harold Stites, he was later shot and killed from like he tried to really be a hero, and he was trying to regain control, and they were like, no.
We got the weapons. We're the captain now. Yeah.
They're like, I'm sorry, I don't think you realize this is the Alcatraz Blast out.
We're blasting out.
We're blasting. What's that fucking Taco Bell drink?
Oh, a Baja Blast.
Baja Blast. Yeah, that's why I think of that.
Mm-hmm.
That color blue. Is it blue? No, it's like green.
Used to say it's like aquamarine.
Oh, okay. It's blue green.
An unnatural color for a drink.
Yeah, but a natural color for a soda full of sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So about 18 officers overall were injured in this attempt to escape. And eventually, like, things got so fucking blasted out that the U.S. Marines were eventually called in and had to, like, help gain control of this fucking
hell.
It's not a coup, but I mean,
it's like a prison riot led by like only six people.
Yeah.
Like, there wasn't anybody else in on this, or there was just like these guys that were.
I think it was just these guys, but then that causes chaos of another kind. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
and it was over 3 days technically, so like they had to like hatch a plan, and really like these guys' plan failed immediately when that key wasn't found. So at this point, nothing to lose. They're just causing chaos.
They're like, we're already in the shit. Like, what else? What, like, who cares? Let's just go. Yeah.
Yeah. So this all ended in basically a shootout in a corridor, like in the prison. And the bodies of Coy, Kretzer, and Hubbard were found after that shootout. 3 people survived, Shockley, Thompson, and Carnes. They stood trial for those are the guys that returned back to their
their cells.
Yeah. So the 3 guys that stayed out went out in a blaze of glory. If you could call it that. I wouldn't, but if you could. So the Shockley, Thompson, and Carnes stood trial for the death of the officers, and then Shockley and Thompson actually received the death penalty. They were executed at San Quentin in December of 1948, and they were executed by gas chamber simultaneously, which I thought was
yikes.
Like, what a bromance or something. It's like, how, like, you wouldn't think they would allow that to happen.
It reminds me of like that scene in Midsummer where the dudes are like in that building like together.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? I don't want to spoil it if nobody's seen it. But
no. I don't remember it very well, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's kind of like nice that they did that because you're not dying by yourself.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like fucked up either way.
It's fucked up. Yeah, it's fucked up. Well, Carnes did not receive the death sentence. He was only 19 at the time, which is like fucking shit, dude. You're getting in with some criminals. Like, you're only 19? What are you doing with these adults out here? Go back to your cell. So he got a second life sentence.
Oh, okay, well.
Okay. Another famous escape attempt was called The Great Escape. So there's actually a movie about this one starring Clint Eastwood. It's called Escape from Alcatraz. And it's based on Frank Lee Morris's escape attempt along with some bank robber brothers, John and Clarence Anglin, and then this guy, Alan West, who was like, they were all in adjacent cells and they all had the shared desire to GTFO. And so they, they're like all like housed near each other. And so they were starting to they're chatting late at night. The lights go out. There's nothing else to do. They're hatching a plan. And so they started thinking through this plan in like December of 1961. It was very intricate. It involved the design and fabrication of dummies.
Oh my God.
They had to build water rafts. They had to build life preservers. And they fashioned like some of the stuff out of like raincoats that they had collected, some that they had stolen, some that they had borrowed, some that they had just like been given. I guess people were like, you know what?
Godspeed here.
Godspeed.
May this help you on your way. Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to attempt something that I respect. Here's my raincoat.
You do you.
Yeah, look at you. They had a bunch of tools. They made like shivs. They'd made little, shovels and stuff just by like taping things together, like rigging them together somehow. They also had a saw blade that they had stolen from like working, the jobs that they worked.
Yeah.
And so by May of 1962, they had in alternating shifts dug through the cell's wall vents, which were only 6 by 9 inches. So they had basically like Shawshanked.
Yeah.
This shit. Like they
This
saw
is
the
like
vents.
where all of the like tropes of a prison
Yes.
escape come from.
Yes,
basically.
It sounds familiar because this is a trope of how you escape prison. I feel like this is what they do in movies and stuff.
Yeah.
So, so they just like would look out while one would stand lookout while one dug and the other two slept, and they would just like be on this rotation. And so when they weren't digging, they did have to craft those dummies, and they created heads for them, and they named them. They were the other two accomplices to this 4-man job. Oink and Oscar were their names.
Okay.
And how they thought anyone would look at these heads and think to themselves, oh, that's a human, is well beyond me. And we may never know, because these heads were made out of a mixture of cement powder, soap, and toilet paper.
Listen, people can be extremely artistic and creative with very limited resources, and they were artistes. So,
it is,
bless.
yeah. I mean, they've had to be fucking Michelangelo to the realism in these heads must have been stellar, or they were just like really fooling themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They did paint them, like they got like flesh colored paint from the arts and crafts room or whatever, and then they also, and I don't know why this sounds so upsetting to me, but they like collected hair off the barbershop floor in the prison, and they like glued it to the heads.
This was their art project. They needed this, okay?
These were the stuff of nightmares. You know what these looked like, I think?
What?
The Cynthia doll from Rugrats. Angelica's doll, Cynthia. Like, just so upsetting. Like, you're like, whoever thinks this looks good or like comforting, something's going on.
Mm-hmm,
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so on the night of June 11th, 1962, Morris gave the go-ahead. He let the others know, like, we've dug through these vents to the point we can get
ready.
out.
We
can
ready.
fit. Yeah, like, we're going to make
it.
this happen. So after lights out at like 9:30 p.m., they dropped the dummies, tucked them in, and they shimmied up into the crawl space. And sadly, Alan West, who was, helping out, hit the grate in his vent, got stuck, so he couldn't get through, and they had to leave him behind.
Bummer.
Yeah, and he would, I can't remember if he got into trouble, but like he did try and take credit for all of this.
To like let them off the hook or something?
No, he didn't have to do that. But I think he just was like wanting people to think he was a mastermind.
Oh, I see. Oh.
But like this was not his thing. Anyway, he just was like wanting to like big man time it and be like, oh, and by the way, this was I didn't get out of here, but it was my idea. It's like,
yeah. Oh,
okay.
I see. Yeah. It's like, well, how good of an idea was it if you didn't even escape?
Yeah, it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
So Morris and the Anglins climbed 30 feet up the plumbing onto the cell house roof, and they like got 100 feet across the rooftop, and then they went down the piping on the other side. It was like 50 feet of piping near the entrance to the shower area. So they like made it up onto the roof, got 100 feet, down 50 feet. They got out. And that was it. They were never seen again.
Wow.
But it's that thing of,
did they make it, or
died.
did they get eaten by sharks? Like, we don't know.
Yeah, but technically, so I don't know if this is considered still an attempt, because they were never able to confirm that they made it. Like is it an attempt and they died, or did they make it?
And there was proof that they did not make it. It's an attempt. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
They looked for their bodies. Like, the FBI was called out. They did a whole investigation. They looked for signs of them. Like, they never found their bodies. They never found signs. You know, like, their plan was to make it to there's like a nearby island. I forget the name of.
Angel Island.
Angel Island. Yeah, their plan was to make it to Angel Island. And so that's where the FBI first checked. You know, they're like looking for signs, and there was no signs that they made it to there. There was no signs that they made it kind of anywhere around. So I think they all died.
I don't know. Who's to say?
Who's to say, though? I mean, yeah, who's to say? Maybe
that's
they started
crazy.
Yeah, maybe they stole planes after this and like hijacked them to go to Cuba or whatever.
Yeah. Like,
we don't know.
DB Cooper, yeah.
Yeah, DB Cooper. Maybe one of them was DB Cooper.
Yeah.
And just a couple of famous inmates. So I think we've maybe mentioned some of these, but maybe not. Al Capone served some time on Alcatraz, just 4.5 years of his sentence. He managed to get a lot of attention while he was there, but also it's like he was already getting a lot of attention. So I don't know that has anything to do with Alcatraz specifically. But while he was there, he also got syphilis, which got him more attention. Or maybe he already had it, but it like flared
I think he already had it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he was in a syphilis flare, and his mental health was declining, and eventually they transferred him to the Federal Correctional Institution at Terminal Island in Los Angeles in 1938. And I think he also got a lot of attention at Alcatraz because he was really trying to like befriend the warden, who was Warden Johnston at the time, but failed and kept being given menial jobs. Like, the warden kind of really liked punishing him for being such a tryhard, which I find funny. And then Al Capone was also involved in a lot of fights. And I think it's that thing of like, when new guys come in, they have to pick a fight with like one of the bigger or more important or scary people. And Al Capone was like a huge crime boss. And so I think maybe that's why he was in so many fights. But maybe also he was a tough guy. I don't know. But he seemed like a kiss ass, so I don't know. But he did get into a fight where someone like threatened to kill him. They held a blade to his throat because he tried to jump the line at the barbershop.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See, this is all the people that are there. They're just like on the verge of murdering everyone
all the time.
All the time. Every one of them. Yeah.
I know. Also, Machine Gun Kelly was there. Not the one you're thinking.
Not the one that's dating Megan Fox right now.
Yeah. Not the one we're all confused as to why he's dating Megan Fox.
Not the one that's best friends with Pete Davidson.
Yeah. I still don't know really anything about Machine Gun Kelly other than he's a very skinny white rapper and tall. Is he talented? Who's to say? This Machine Gun Kelly, his real name was George Kelly Barnes. Big, crime boss. He overlapped with Al Capone. It was coincidental. They didn't work together. I looked. I was like, ooh, were they nabbed together? Yeah, but they did different crimes from different areas of the country. This guy was Southern. He was constantly boasting about several robberies and murders that he never committed while he was there, which is so dumb. It's like, we know you are a criminal. You're in prison. Like,
listen, everybody was just like wild in this prison. They're
wild.
They're like, I'm gonna slit your throat because you cut in front of me at the barber.
Yeah.
And also, I know I will. I can because I've killed 50 million people.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, not 50 million. There's not that many. No, there's no way.
Yeah. Yeah. I have 50 million bodies buried in my yard. It's like, I don't know. I mean, you'd be very busy. And
you live in an apartment, George.
With no yard.
Yeah.
The building doesn't have any
flower
beds or anything.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Oh my God. And again, he was a huge kiss ass to Warden Johnson as well. But he was way more successful than Al Capone, and the warden actually liked him and considered him a model inmate. And
okay,
if that's great, I don't know. And then Whitey Bulger was also there around.
I did not know this.
Me either. Yeah, me either. This is interesting. He was there around 1959 for a few years. After, and this is something I learned today too, which blew my mind, he was a guinea pig for MK Ultra. They were doing like LSD tests on him.
I think I smell a bonus episode.
Dude, we haven't talked about MK Ultra, have we?
I don't know.
I don't think we've done an episode on it, but that is very interesting. And also the Whitey Bulger like crossover is fascinating to me.
Totally.
So he was here after he had been like experimented on, essentially, not for very long. A lot of these guys got moved down to the Terminal Island in Los Angeles. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are just some of the famous people that were in Alcatraz at one point in time while it was operational as a federal prison.
Yep. Just a couple.
And honestly, those guys gave Alcatraz, it's kind of like landmark status, I want to say.
I feel like, yeah.
But there is something that Alcatraz should be more known for, in my personal opinion. And this is where I was saying, put a pin in this this topic of conversation about how Native Americans factor into Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Okay. This shit's wild. And I love it. Well, I hate it and I love it.
Yeah.
So, like I said, this is something I had no idea about, but we have to talk more about it because it is one of the more fucked up and far more interesting things to happen involving Alcatraz, in my humble opinion.
Yeah. It's more interesting than just being a prison.
Yes. And any of those like wild ass fucking inmates that were there. I mean, that's a thing in and of itself, but this is actually very interesting. So at one point in time in the 60s, 2 points in time, I should say, Alcatraz was taken over by activists twice.
Oh.
And it rules.
Cool.
So Alcatraz Island was occupied by Native American activists for the first time on March 8th of 1964. The protest proposed by Lakota Sioux activist Belva Cotier and was joined by about 35 other people. It only lasted for 4 hours, and it was reported by the local newspapers like San Francisco Chronicle and San Francisco Examiner. So that happened, and that kind of gave more fire and activated more people to get involved. And so then a second and much longer occupation started on November 20th of 1969. So you're probably wondering, like, why Native American activists? Well,
yeah, like, why were they there?
Yeah, this all started because, well, I'll go into it in a second, but it was the group of Native Americans that were called United Indians of all tribes. They were mostly college students from San Francisco. They are the ones that like started the occupation, and they were there to protest the federal policies related to Native Americans. At this time, there was actively a policy in place in the United States that was set up by our United States government basically to make Native Americans assimilate to mainstream United States society. And some of these activists were the children of the Native Americans who had been relocated
Oh my God.
into San Francisco by the Bureau of Indian Affairs. And this policy was called the Indian Termination Policy. That is so fucked up. Yeah.
No.
So you thought like, you know, Trail of Tears, you think Trail of Tears, you think like the kind of reparations, the things that that the United States government tried to do to like, quote unquote, make it right, but never really did. They like designated land to different tribes. Well, this is like a policy that was instituted in like the mid 40s and lasted through the mid 60s. And it was basically just I like, it's like a more sophisticated and more insidious Trail of Tears, I think.
Oh God.
That I never ever learned about. I knew nothing about. And probably not a lot of other people do too, unless you study Native American history.
Yeah.
Pretty closely, or you were alive during this time.
Yeah.
Or you're Native. Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. So this policy is absolutely fucking insane and so fucked up. Like I said, it was in place by our government from the mid 1940s through the 60s, and it was shaped by a series of laws and policy with the intent of assimilating Native Americans into mainstream American society. And assimilation, if you aren't clear, is and was a racist ass belief that indigenous people should abandon their traditional lives and become what the government considered civilized.
Oh my God, that is brutal.
So, and this has been the attitude of all the white men in power, and therefore the basis of policy regarding Native Americans and indigenous people for centuries.
Also, like, it's just wild that assimilation has been something that people feel that they have to do to like survive here also. Like on the one hand, they were being forced, but there's other cultures that have like come to the United States as immigrants and then felt like they have to strip away everything that, you know, makes them in order to like fit in here. Yeah. And it's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up. But this is crazy because these people were already living on reservations that the United States government had designated. And then they were like, then the government was like, no, we don't want you to exist anymore. We don't want your tribe to exist anymore. We don't want the reservation to exist anymore. We want you to just like leave your land and get the fuck, like blend into society.
Break it up and blend in.
We don't give a fuck what you do. Just get out.
Why is that? Is that because like they wanted the land or like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much. They wanted the land. They actually did succeed with this policy in taking the land from a lot of tribes, from a lot of people. They just that was like the whole MO. And so Congress set about ending the special relationship between tribes and the federal government and began implementing a series of laws directed at dismantling tribal sovereignty. And there's like a ton of information on this if you want to read more about it, but like the specific laws that made it harder for Native Americans to be sovereign. Yeah, so this had been happening for decades, and all these activists were like, fuck this shit. You like ran our families off our land and we're done with this. So we're just going to take this island the fuck over. And they were like, y'all better fix this shit and fix the goddamn mess right now. And it fucking worked. It worked. My God. This shit worked. They occupied Alcatraz for about 19 months, I think. Almost 2 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. And finally, President Richard Nixon at the time rescinded the Indian termination policy. He established a new policy of self-determination, in part as a result of this very highly publicized act of resistance by these activists, and all the awareness that came from it because of the occupation. This is literally the only good thing that Nixon did his entire presidency. I'm not even kidding. Totally the only.
And it wasn't his idea.
No, he was just like bowing to the pressure of this. Highly publicized occupation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the occupation ended June 11th, 1971.
Whoa.
And I just think that is so fucking cool. And I mean, it's terrible that it was like a time in history that the reason they had to do it. But like,
yeah,
I would have never known about this if I would have, if I don't know, didn't learn about this topic of Alcatraz. Amazing.
Dang. So cool.
Protest work.
Yep. Oh my goodness. Well, I at the end of all of this too, I never knew that Alcatraz was maybe haunted.
I mean, it seems like it should be.
It should be, especially after everything we just talked about. I mean, yeah, it was a prison. There's like they were imprisoning like, you know, the wrong kinds of people for the wrong reasons for a long time.
Confederate sympathizers. Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
I'll allow that.
Yeah. And like, I mean,
murderers.
Major crime boss. But you know, the native fathers that like didn't want to send their children away and to be US government property, and like, you know, people who didn't want to fight in a war. I don't know. Some of it, yikes. Some of it, oh, okay, it was a prison, you know, but
well, it's just a very good example of like the way our government has utilized land.
Yeah.
In a way that is super fucking creepy. And prison industrial complex, military industrial complex, like this is like a very concentrated example of it, I think.
Yeah. So it could be haunted, I guess. You know, if you're listening, you know our feelings on these things. So we think probably it's not.
It has bad energy for sure.
Oh yeah. Oh, another reason I'm not keen to just like spend a free day there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just also there's no food. There's
I'm
no
telling
food
you,
there.
Alcatraz
There's no snack
Cantina.
shack. Yeah. Except the Alcatraz Cantina opening 2022. Brought to you by DTFU. Yeah. Brought to you by DTFU podcast. Yeah, so but there are tours, like, so you could do daytime tours obviously, but they also do like occasional nighttime tours where you get to see like more of the prison that's not available to see during the day, and it's like the creepier parts of it. Probably like I don't know if they killed people at Alcatraz, but I would imagine, but maybe like the gas chambers and shit, who knows, or wherever they like gave people the lethal injection, if they did that there, or firing squad. I don't know.
I don't think they did. I think it was just like a holding.
Holding place. Okay,
but people probably did die there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, people died there. I mean, we know some of the like prisoners and prison guards died there, but it does. Yeah, so you could see it at night. Maybe it's spooky to you. I don't know. We don't have a definitive answer. But like we were just saying, if there is a place that should be haunted, kind of similar to Lake Lanier, I feel like maybe this is one of those places where it's like,
exactly.
Oh yeah, some like weird shit has happened here, and probably a lot of people have died here through various measures. So
yeah. I totally agree. You know, and I think there was at one point in time back in the early 2000s a push to make Alcatraz a more of a they wanted to just like raise it to the ground basically and make like a
park or something,
like a educational like freedom kind of you know, like something directly opposite of what a prison is, and have like the history more of what actually happened there, and make it more of a less like a sinister and foreboding and prison associated island, and just be like, look, this place also used to be where all these habitats of different like colonies of birds were, and like it was an ecological like you know,
reserve, and now it's a community garden or something. It's like a food garden. Like and so there was a push to do that, but it obviously didn't go down well in Congress. So And well, maybe it hasn't happened yet, but maybe people will keep pushing for it, you know?
Yeah, I think if more people knew about like the actual history of it and like, you know, make some reparations for this island that has only seen the worst of the worst.
Truly.
The shit, you know? So, yeah, if it was like designated as a place of like, here's like a protest that happened, here's like the like beauty that it could have had and thrived with like forever if we wouldn't have turned it into a military prison.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It feels like it could just be a place where it's like, here's the history of the place, but we don't need the prison on it. Like,
yeah,
it could just be like, here are all the things that have occurred here. Like, this is some fucked up stuff. This is how it got turned around. This is how some wins were had or whatever. And then it's like, and that's what this place was.
And make it like beautiful again and not just this like ugly, quote unquote, The Rock. Like, you know, like that it is known as that Nicolas Cage movie. And
Sean Connery, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing that trailer
so
many times when I was a kid. I haven't seen the movie, but I just always remember seeing there's like a part where something's going over the edge and like they go to grab it.
Yeah.
In the trailer. I saw that trailer so many times.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think this place, I don't know. There's just so much bad vibes here. And let's turn it around, you know?
Yeah. It's interesting, but like, why do we need some old ass prison there?
It's like the thing of like how people complain, like, don't get rid of Confederate statues. How are we going to like know? It's like, what?
Read a book.
Read
asshole.
A fucking book. Like, what is a statue going to do? Like, remind people of.
It doesn't do anything. And it's like the building itself isn't the interesting part. There's no fucking architectural digest.
It's falling apart.
Yeah.
Right now as we speak. It's dilapidated
we're not learning
and gross.
anything from the building itself. You know, it's like
there's
I don't know.
pictures of it that you can see.
Yeah,
of
there's
like
pictures.
what it used to look like. You don't need to like I don't know. Yeah.
It doesn't symbolize anything positive. It's not something, but they could do something with that land, like you're saying, and it could also still be a destination where you learn stuff, but put a fucking cantina on it. God damn it.
That's what I'm saying.
God damn it. Ugh. Well, yeah. It's interesting. I don't know. We learned so much about it. It's not just like a prison. I don't know. Like, I mean, it was, but you know, there's just like a lot of history to what that purpose served over time. So.
Yeah. And I just don't really care about all the bad people that were there. Like,
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's sage that fucking place.
It needs to be saged.
And start over, you know?
Yeah. They need to clean that house. They need to. Have you seen the memes about how this is going to be practical magic summer? Like, forget hot girl summer. This is going to be practical magic summer. It's like,
we grow our hair long. We like,
that's what we need to do to this place. We need to tear down the prison and then we need to cleanse it. And then we need to,
manifest
drink margaritas on it.
Yes.
And sing and dance and in the moonlight.
That's what I'm saying.
And it needs female energy.
Yes.
It needs feminine energy.
Balance that shit out. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's my wish for you, Alcatraz Island. I hope I hope it gets better there one day. Reintroduce that bill to Congress and see what happens. I would love to see it.
I wonder if there's probably like local senators and assembly people that like have that in their plans, you know?
Yeah. Why have a shitty, ugly old prison when you could have, I don't know.
Yeah.
Hope and education.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, download the whohaha app and take your favorite clips from this episode and put them out on social medias and tag us in them at DTFU Podcast, all the platforms, including TikTok.
TikTok. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter, on Instagram. We have a fun Facebook group where we just have a barrel of laughs.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere.
Yeah. Visit our website, dtfupodcast.com. All the info there. You can get to our Patreon from there. You can leave us a review on iTunes from there. You can submit a topic for an episode on there.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Yep. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, you guys, thank you so much for listening, and be excellent to yourselves.
And each other.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.